Poštovani gledalci, sa nama je danas Christian Ingebrigtsen. On učestvuje na norveškom Melodi Gran Priju, ali iza njega je jedna duga i uspešna karijera, čak i neke pesme za koje možda niste znali da je on napisao. So, hello Chris, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am also great. Thanks for asking. So, you're on MGP this year. What people may not know that you actually won MGP 2 years ago as a songwriter. So here in rest of the world, let's say that. So can you tell us how do you feel before this final coming up on Saturday?
Well, I'm very excited to be a part of it as an artist. You know, like you mentioned, I've written songs for MGP before for other artists, and this is the first time I'm in it as a solo artist, and it's a bit I'm a bit more nervous than when I was just a writer and producer, but I'm excited about it. I really am. It's such a fantastic party of a TV show, and I love being part of it. And it's just a great platform to show off your new music, no matter what happens. And I'm very proud of the song, and it was going to be a single for my new album anyway. So I'm very, very happy to be part of it.
You have presented your songs 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks. Never mind. So you were ahead of a piano like this one behind you. So can you tell us about stage show? Will you do something different, or will you just keep it like you shown us in the semifinal round?
Well, I as a big fan of Eurovision, I love the diversity of the competition. Like there are songs that have all the glitter and glamour and the dresses and the fireworks and all that stuff. But then you have the songs that are just the songs that are, where the song is in focus and there isn't too much of the other stuff, like the winner from Portugal, or, great pop legends like Johnny Logan, Hold Me Now, and songs that I loved growing up. So I wanted to represent that part of Eurovision or MGP, where the song is in focus. And I wanted to just be in the grand piano. And I think NRK did a fantastic job. With the effects around and the string players in front of me, and also some of the graphics they had around it. So I was very, very happy with it. So I'm not going to make any major changes, maybe just some minor adjustments to make it, to perfect it even a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit. Can you tell us, you mentioned you are a fan of Eurovision. Do you have some favorite song, maybe, like ever?
Yeah, I think the Portuguese winner 2017 is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's just a fantastic, example of the music just being the music doing all the talking. And but there are some great ones. I loved when the Secret Garden won for Norway way back. I really loved that as well. But I think one of my all-time favorite songs, from a pop music perspective, was Euphoria when Sweden won it. Loreen, that was just a fantastic pop song that could have done well in the charts outside of the Eurovision. So, but there's so many examples of great pop songs, even songs that didn't end up winning it. They're just great songs that we've heard from and heard about because of Eurovision. So, yeah, it's hard to pick out just a few. Obviously, you can't get away from Alexander Rybak, Norway's,
yeah, he was great. Winner. He was really great.
Yeah.
I was a kid then, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think when we all heard that song, we just knew, okay, that's going to win. There wasn't really much competition, and it was one of the, by margin, it was one of the bigger winners. So, yeah, there are so many great songs, and of course, going all the way back to Waterloo with ABBA, there's some great pop classics, and I'm a big fan. Saying that, when I was growing up, I was such a fan of the Eurovision that me and my friends, we would dress up as our favorite Eurovision contestants, and we would sing some of the songs for each other before watching the Eurovision final. And I would always sing "Hold Me Now" by Johnny Logan, and because I think that's one of the all-time great just pop ballads.
I agree because he gave something simple. There was no fireworks or anything. It was just that time when Eurovision was about song, and now we have different genres and everything. We had Maneskin last year. We had Eleni Foureira. We had Loreen and everything. And diversity, as you mentioned, is one of the greatest things about Eurovision. And I have to say, we have a similar taste. I really like Portugal from 2017 and Amar pelos dois. But can you tell us, let's look to the future. This Eurovision, this MGP, did you hear the competition and what do you think about it? And how is it? You are one of the direct finalists. How do you feel about that? Did you have some additional time to prepare, probably because you didn't have the pressure of the semifinal as well?
Well, I like to think of it like whenever I write for another artist, like for Ulrike with the tension, I always start saying, let's not try to write the winning song. Let's just write a song that suits your voice, gets your talent out there, and shows that off to the Norwegian audience and hopefully the European audience, and that's the focus. And I've done the same thing with myself. I just want to do what I do. This is me, very, very much a Christian Ingebrigtsen song. And just want to show off my favorite type of music, what I write and what I like in the best way I can. And I'm a big fan of sports, and I love it when during the Olympics you'll hear a lot of the contestants talk about they don't really think about the competition much. They think about their own chores and their tasks that they've given themselves. And if they manage to do perform at the best of their ability, then they're really happy, even if they end up in 5th place or 15th place or whatever, because they won against themselves. And you can never really, you don't have any control over the competition or how people are going to vote. And so that's been my focus. I'm focusing on delivering the best that I can on Saturday, and beyond that, I'm hopeful, and it'd be a pleasure and a great joy for me and an honor to represent Norway in the Eurovision. Is one of my big dreams, but I can't control that if that happens. So my goal is to perform to the peak of my ability on Saturday, and beyond that, I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't really, to be honest, I've tried so hard not to focus on the competition. I haven't really heard all the other songs in their entirety. I've seen a little bit of the performances here and there, but I try not to read too much about reviews or feedbacks or stuff like that. I want to focus on doing what I do to the best that I can, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the competition is actually, you compete with yourself, and that's the greatest part of Eurovision and national selection, as you mentioned, like in sport. But the big career stands behind you. A1, very popular band. So can you tell us something more about that? We would be really glad to hear it.
Yeah, well, A1 is still going strong. We're planning on releasing a new album later on this year, and we've got a tour in the UK coming up, and also we're going to Sweden this summer and to Southeast Asia in the fall. So it's going to be a busy year, especially if I win your MGP. It's going to be very, very busy. But I think A1 is one of those bands that we were very lucky to have the success that we did at such a level that there's around the world an audience that will remember us as part of their growing up. And so when we play our own concerts, or if we play 90s festivals or noughties festival, because we were lucky, we just started, having hits in 1999. So we can do the 90s festival, we could always do the noughties festival. And people go there to remember what it was like growing up. And we go down memory lane with them, and we love it, and we meet all the other bands. I have a father who's still an artist performing at the age 76 now. He's still doing lots of gigs. And he, has his audience that grew up with his music in the 60s. and he can still do the same songs to the same audience. So I think A1, you know, has the potential of performing until we're in our 70s. And it's just we're like brothers, and we have a great time together. But we also write new music every now and then, even though we know most people want to hear the old classics. We always try to make some new ones. And of course, A1 was in MGP in 2010. We came second. And even if we didn't get to represent Norway in the Eurovision.
On home soil.
Yeah, we did so many concerts, and we, you know, had and most people remember that song now just as one of our hit songs. They don't remember that it was part of MGP. So it's a great example of how it's just a great platform and, you know, way to show off your new music. And A1, you know, we have a concert in Norway the week after MGP final. So it's busy times.
That escalated quickly, really.
Yeah, especially after we had so many cancellations during the pandemic, and now it's slowly opening up. We got to do all the concerts that we postponed and the new ones. So it's going to be busy times, and A1's still going strong. I'm very happy about that.
When you mentioned that, how do your artists deal with pandemic and everything? It's a real problem. Concerts are mostly canceled and everything. How do you handle with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very, very tough time for so many artists, and not to mention the teams around us, you know, like sound engineers, lighting engineers, you know, everyone who you don't see on stage but are a crucial part of the music industry. Maybe they've had the toughest, you know, and so many people had to find new jobs. In fact, right now it's kind of hard to get enough sound technicians and people behind the scenes to do all the concerts coming up, because a lot of them, we've lost them, you know, to the pandemic. They found other jobs. They had to because of the economy. So yeah, it's been tough times, but we're hopeful and we're grateful that things are opening up again. And I believe if people get back to habits of going out and paying for tickets and going to concerts, we'll see a revival of the music industry in the times ahead.
I hope this is really coming to an end, because it's so tiring in every spectrum of life. So, for the end, you mentioned that concert after MGP. Do you have and you mentioned also your album where A Wonder of the World will be featured also. Can you tell us something more about your future plans for the end of our interview?
Yes, so Wonder of the World was supposed to be just a single on my new album, and I figured out it's a great way to show that single off in the MGP. And so the album is pretty much, it's not done, but it's like 2/3 of the way done, already recorded. And it's going to be a slightly more modern version of me as a solo artist. I've always been a fan of the organic pop music, you know, where, you know, I literally have a band in the studio and we perform it together and record it. But this album is going to be more of a modern approach to it. A lot of programming stuff, but mixed with the organic stuff, like Wonder of the World is, you know, where I record live strings and live guitars and stuff, and piano, but the rest is programmed around it to make it more of a pop, more modern sound. So that's very much what the album's like. I recorded a lot of it in Nashville with a dear friend of mine called David Tulin, who's a producer, who's just phenomenal. And he's also made a remix of Wonder of the World, which I produced with Henrik Tala in Finland, who co-wrote and produced the Kaino contribution from Norway, Spirit in the Sky. So, but also a lot of the albums recorded in America with David. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very fun, and actually the majority of the album is up tempo, you know, kind of dancey music. But there's also some ballads like Wonder of the World. So yeah, look out for the remix. I just uploaded it into the Sky now. It's going to be released hopefully next week. Oh, and I got to tell you this, I'm very excited about the music video that I recorded this weekend, and hopefully it'll be out the day before the Norwegian final. So
on
Wonder of the
Friday.
World. Yeah, check out my YouTube channel for that. That's going to be, I'm very excited about it. We rented a plane and everything because I'm traveling around the world, seeing all these wonders of the world. Yeah, so it's that's going to be exciting.
I'm really excited to check that out. And on Friday, dear viewers, check Christian Ingebrigtsen YouTube channel, and on Saturday, of course, MGP final. So we will see who will win. Dear Christian, thanks a lot for this nice talk. It was our pleasure, and I wish you all the best with the MGP, potential Eurovision, and also all of your future plans, both in solo career and in A1.
Thanks so much, and thank you for having me. I hope to see you again soon, and hopefully near the Torino final.
We would be really glad to do that. Poštovani gledaoci, to bi bilo to od Christiana Ingebrigtsena, a slušat ćemo se nadalje, tako da veliki pozdrav.